Welcome, my favorite federal employee. We're glad that you found our channel. My name is Andrew McNair, son of a CSRS employee and founder of SWAN Capital, a total wealth management company where we have a CPA, estate planning attorney, and financial planners all under one roof, dedicated to helping federal employees just like you. Today's show is about simplifying your retirement life and answering the big question of today: can I move my 401k or IRA into the TSP? Not only are we answering that, but we're also walking you through how to do it, why you might want to do it, and the key considerations before making that transfer. So let's dive in.
All right, Andrew, can I truly move my 401k, my 403b, my IRA into a TSP?
So yes, you absolutely can move your traditional IRAs and most employer plans like a 401k, 403b, 401a into your TSP at any time. And even better, if you've got a Roth 401k, Roth 403b, or Roth 457 out there, you can transfer those into your Roth TSP respectively. So think of it like this. If I have an old 401k, maybe I had $100,000 from an old career in the private sector, I switch over to becoming a GS federal employee, and I have all of these investment buckets that are in the junk drawer. They are just floating around there and they don't have a lot of organizations. Well, again, if I have an old 401k or IRA, they're frozen income. They're never been taxed. So these income cubes are from the freezer, need to get into the other freezer that I now have called a TSP. And you're just moving them from one freezer to another. Same temperature, no taxes. So as long as it's a direct rollover and it stays in the same tax category, there's no tax event, and that income stays frozen.
Rubber bands, paper clips, and all going over.
Exactly.
All right, so is there any account that I cannot move to the TSP?
So yes, your Roth IRA cannot be transferred into your Roth TSP. That's a hard no from the TSP rules. And so the answer is like, why? Because Roth IRAs have different rules and protections that aren't compatible with government retirement plans. So keep that in mind. And this is why we always check in with our CPA, your CPA, to see if any rules have changed or any situation where that doesn't make sense to do, even if it's applicable and we can do it.
You know, and this question doesn't come along very often. So again, if you have a question, obviously Andrew loves engaging with new questions. So why would someone move an outside account into their TSP?
Well, I mean, the reason why you would do it is simplicity. I mean, it's less paperwork when you get to your retirement. It's going to be less tax forms when you get to your retirement, fewer passwords, less junk drawer energy in your finances. You don't have to have all of this complicated situation left to your widow or to your children. You can simplify it for them. The other thing is lower fees. TSP is known for being cost effective. Remember, you're investing in 5 major funds that are index funds, so they have very low rates that BlackRock and the TSP has decided upon, especially compared to actively managed mutual funds that you may find in a 401k that have expense ratios at 0.8% versus 0.08%. Another reason is putting it all in one basket. I love what Andrew Carnegie once said. He said, put all your eggs in one basket and watch it like a hawk. If you have all these different baskets, it's hard to tell what's working and what's not. Is your 401k performing better than your TSP? Is the TSP doing better than your 401k? Often people have too little time and discretionary time to see which one's doing the best. So it's smart to have your assets diversified. Have a lot of eggs, but have it all in one basket so that all of your attention can be on that one basket. I also believe that fewer accounts equals less risk of mistakes like duplicate funds. You would be shocked how many times I've found families' 401ks are buying Google and their TSP's holding Google and their IRA is doing the complete opposite. Also, you could have missed RMDs. If you have a TSP here, a 403b here, and an IRA, that's 3 different separate RMDs. Outdated beneficiary designations. This is huge. Many times you might have a 401k that lists, your ex-spouse, your TSP names your current spouse, and your IRA lists your child. And before you know it, you have a mess after your passing that's going to leave a lot of people very frustrated.
And then you'll become the next example of how not to do it.
Right here on the
So
channel.
exactly. All right, let's put brass tacks to it. How do I actually make that transfer to the TSP?
Yeah, it's fairly simple. Step one is you're going to contact TSP and request the rollover forms to process. You'll likely need to work with your old employer or plan administrator, and some will require proof that you're no longer working there. You might not have worked there for 5 years, but the HR department still has not let them know that you have separated from service, and therefore your 401k still thinks you're employed and therefore will not let you move it. So you're basically getting both parties ready to receive and play catch. And so it's really important to make sure that TSP is notified and the former employer is notified. Some employers, I'll give you an example, like Fidelity 401ks may do it over the phone, while another employer may decide that you have lengthy paperwork to do. But it's worth it to do it. I know you probably procrastinated, wanted to get around to it, but today's the day to finally get around to it. So in most cases, it is a direct transfer, meaning the money never touches your hands. And think of us, like this is why financial professionals are so handy. We make it like a financial valet. My team helps federal employees with these consolidations all the time. So you don't have to wrestle with the paperwork. What do I do with this check? I only have 30, 60 days before something like a ticking time bomb blows up. It's very important to don't go it alone.
Well, there's got to be some advantage to this. So what are the advantages of consolidating to the TSP?
I do think easier access during retirement, depending on your setup and your withdrawal plan that you're going to choose with your pension options and your withdrawal strategy for retirement. I think consolidation equals clarity. One statement, one strategy, one place. Lower internal fees. We talked about that. With BlackRock's funds, they are lower fees.
So are there any disadvantages or downside to moving funds into the TSP?
There are some downsides, and these are some clear downsides you need to know. Remember that with TSP, you have limited investment choices. There's no R fund, there's no real estate, but some different funds are available in 401ks that the TSP does not have. There are some large growth funds that have way outperformed the C fund and the S fund. There is some more diversification that may be available that's not within the TSP. So you just want to be careful. Lower fees and simpler is not always better, but oftentimes it is. You remember the TSP has 5 core funds. You have G, F, C, S, and I, and then you have life cycle funds that are made up of it. So that's it. That's all you have available. In an IRA, for example, you could choose from a wide menu like Vanguard has 86 ETFs that are oftentimes the same cost and sometimes lower than even what TSP charges. So some have better track records or specialized strategies that are not available within TSP. Plus, here's what you need to know. TSP cannot give you tax advice, legal advice, estate planning advice. You're not going to receive personalized investment advice because you're paying low fees. You get the structure, but you still have to decide how to build the house.
Okay, so let's address what happens once we make that transfer to the TSP. Are there any different withdrawal rules?
Yes, this is a big deal. Once the money goes into the TSP, it's going to follow those applicable TSP rules. You're going to have to follow them to the T. Things like age-based withdrawals rules will apply. Your access and tax consequences depend on whether the funds are in a traditional side or the Roth side. If you want more flexibility with early withdrawals or Roth conversions, an IRA may offer way more maneuvering room. Again, you can't do qualified charitable distributions, for example, in a TSP. You can't do a self-directed IRA within a TSP. You can't buy real estate within a TSP.
Okay, so let's talk about the difference between transferring to the TSP and rolling it over to an IRA. What's the difference?
So I would say simplistically in one sentence is the IRA does give you more control, more investment options. It has easier Roth conversion planning. You don't have to worry about the pro rata withdrawal rules when you take money out. I can use actually safer money versus more riskier money during a market volatile session. Better legacy planning flexibility. In many cases, TSP has limited legacy planning. And then also TSP does give you cost efficiency and simplicity, but fewer tools in the tool belt. You're limited to just 5 funds. So it's not about right or wrong. It's about what's right for you and your retirement income plan at retirement.
All right, so people are consuming this with us today, Andrew. Maybe they're thinking, should I consolidate all of my old retirement plan to TSP, or maybe I should leave some out? How do you help them with that?
Yeah, so many times people think it's, black or white. It's not. I mean, it really depends on how much control you want over your investments, whether you plan to do Roth conversions in the future. Are you planning to take from your Roth TSP first, but you have to wait till it's 59 and a half? Your age and access needs really do apply when you decide if you're going to move money to a TSP and be subject to all the TSP withdrawal rules that may not serve you well if you retire early. And so this is where we help federal employees build this strategy, but on a one-on-one basis. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. And so I would encourage you, if you found this video helpful, I would encourage you to take us up on one of our personalized federal benefit report meetings. We'll sit down with you with one of our financial planners. We'll bring in our estate planning attorney and our CPA if you have questions, and we'll build out a personalized benefit report that covers your FEHB, your FEGLI, survivor benefit, federal long-term care. We're going to cover all of those bases so that you can make informed decisions about your federal retirement. So if you have questions that maybe we didn't cover in this video, write us an email and we'll be happy to maybe even create a video out of your question. If you want to schedule that complimentary visit, all you have to do is click that link below. I hope you have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.